please.
Yeah, it looks bad. I know it does. Oh, it looks bad. I already know it looks bad. You ready, bro? Is this you, man?
I didn't come in, but I didn't bring anything except for this.
When you go live too, let us know, and then we can get to sharing and all that other fun stuff. What's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy, Tez and Too Deep, man. I'm here with the Weekend with Tez radio show. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay?
Yeah, doing great.
Doing good.
Wonderful.
Doing great. Wonderful.
It's your man, Big Goldie.
Did you just start with gang sign again? We coming in to say rap there. What's up?
You know what I'm saying? We ain't been on air, you know what I'm saying? I gotta represent.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, represent your set, represent your clique. All right, do your thing, man. So how's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Everybody safe? Everybody clean?
I don't know.
Wash their hands, sanitize, and all that good stuff.
I've been fearing for my life a little bit while I've been sitting
Fearing for
here.
your life.
Fearing for your life.
You don't cough too many times.
Oh,
wow. Oh,
calling them out. Don't call them out so soon.
No, I ain't coughing out once.
I fear for my life. I don't know if chloride in your car.
Get her with the hand sanitizer. I don't know what she's talking about over here.
Absolutely, man.
No, it's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've all actually just been dealing with life within the past week and how that's been going on and how everything is getting together for us. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all.
We got the music back. Y'all ready?
No, everything's been.
How's it like this?
Yeah. Everything has been going pretty good, man. We had a lot of stuff happening, of course, with the coronavirus. Just that in general has changed life. Changed life, period. I mean, like, everybody is doing something different. I mean, some people are not working, unfortunately. Some people are maybe still working from home. People are just doing different things. Kids are not in school. Colleges, they stopped, on site, on campus classes. So it's a whole new lifestyle that we're gonna have to get used to. And the Weekend with Tez, man, we got to get used to it as well, man. If y'all can see, we're at a different setting here tonight as well. So, you never know what may be happening over the next few weeks. So just please make sure y'all stay safe as possible. Like I said, continue to sanitize, wash your hands, and practice what you need to practice. If you
practice social distancing.
Wash your hands.
Social distancing.
No, not just sanitize. Wash them.
Yeah,
wash them.
Just make sure that you wash your hands. And if you're sick, what I was gonna say is, this is big. If you're sick, just please stay home. You know what I mean? It ain't no big deal. Ain't too much going on in the world. A lot of people just going to work, going back home anyway. So literally, just stay at the crib if you're sick. I know some people have regular sinus problems around this time, allergies and things like that around this time. My son,
and I believe
a lot of people have those. Me myself, I have those times.
What you say, Big Goldie, last week? Wash your ass too.
Yeah, man.
You gotta do all of it.
No, it's
because
real,
you're at home. You're at home, bro. You gotta shower.
People ain't been nowhere, so they ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Can I add to that then? Can I say brush your teeth too?
Yeah, come on,
make your bed too while we at it. Let's just go to the list, bro.
Wash your dishes.
After this, man, we should have some of the cleanest houses, in the state of Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should just be, clean houses everywhere. I mean, so you're going to be at the crib. I'm going to be honest with you. If you got kids, they are going to get on your nerves, okay? That's what's going to happen. I don't think you're going to
Especially if you're working from home.
Listen. And I can attest to that. I come home from work, because thank God I'm still working. But I come home from work, and I'm telling you, man, my kids done ran Jessie crazy, because she's at work as well. So she's working from home. So please, man, I know your kids is they're just happy to be home. They really don't know what's going on, some of the younger babies. So with that being said,
plus this is time, if you got them roaches, you know what I'm saying, if you clean your house, they'll leave. You know what I'm saying? You get rid of them roaches.
Maybe
you got them.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Not if you a roach. You a roach, they're gonna come right back to you.
That's a whole other ordeal.
You know what I'm saying?
Roaches might be in there pushing the vacuum for you.
Hey, bro.
You never know, man. Get all that.
Trying to get rid of the ants in your house. You know what I'm saying? It's gang wars.
Yeah, so
rats versus the roaches.
And the spiders, bro. They just have the three.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about too, guys, about this virus, man, is just how life has changed for all of you. So can y'all kind of talk about kind of how life has changed for you all? Like, I mean, just during this whole virus thing and all of this for yourself?
Well, it's one of those things is like, especially if you're a social person, which I'm not saying that I am really that much now with my kids, man. I probably stay at home a lot more than I ever have in my entire life. But the fact now is that if you want to get out and do some things, that's really not even an option for you right now. I mean, you can still get out and do stuff, but with social distancing, I really don't know that I want to unless I have to. You know what I'm saying?
The grocery store be popping.
Man, Walmart be swole, even though there still don't be nothing on the toilet.
Toilet.
Hey, listen, I was in Walmart this morning, and I wasn't paying attention. I heard them come over the loudspeaker. I wasn't really paying attention to what they said because I was only in there to get a couple things. I was out, and I heard something about blue line. So I happened to be walking. Yeah, it was like a blue line in the back of the store. Like they put blue tape on the floor.
That sounds like a drug.
Blue line. Listen, that's only because. Anyway, game stuff now. Anyway, they put a blue line on the floor, so I felt like it was elementary school, like, you know what I'm saying, right foot on the blue line.
Like on your paw? Like you
walk
on the paw?
Yeah, walk on the paw.
Oh, man.
So there was a blue line of tape on the floor in the back, and it led to the back to the storeroom. And man, they had people at the door who was giving out cases of water, and you know what I'm saying, you got in the line to get you some toilet paper and paper towels and all that.
So they're handing out the toilet paper.
Yeah, like they didn't even bother bringing it out of the back room and putting it on because.
Well, they had to.
Well, I'll tell you why.
I got a mega roll of 6.
I mean, some people are stupid though.
I wasn't even trying to, but I was like, you know what? Let me go and get some of this TP. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even need none right now, but let me go.
How long do you stay in line?
Oh no, because I just kind of happened upon it, and I saw. I was like, oh, they passing out the dope right here. This is the dope.
Cut on accident.
No, I didn't.
Oh, is this the line? Oh, thank you.
No,
I can go back if you need me to.
No, I didn't cut only because I was already close to the storeroom, like when they announced it. Like I wasn't paying attention, and I just happened to look down. I was like, what's these people down here? So. Like, when I walked over there, I would have been third in line, but I, like, walked right up to the front. Okay. I was like, it's like, what you need? And I was like, oh, it's a dope deal. Hold on. Let me, so I was like, let me get some of that.
Why's everything got to be a dope deal?
Because the way it's passing
when they handing out the toilet paper in the store, that's what it is, bro. He's not lying.
The way they was passing out.
It's not really a dope deal. Did you get some dope? I mean, if you say dope.
It's an inside of the block.
That TP is that booty dope right now.
I'm done.
He said booty dope.
It's the booty dope, bro.
That's booty dope.
That's dope.
It is white.
All right, so Melody.
It is going your
How
home.
have you been doing? Have you got your booty dope? Have you got You got your booty dope good?
I've been okay. I guess. It's
don't say that.
It's a little hard because being unemployed. I will not be one of those ones with a quarantine baby come December or whatever. No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
All right, I'm with you.
No. Okay. Anyways, so
we'll take care of that.
as I was saying,
you just got happy.
I find it a little bit harder than getting like a new job now because everything.
It's
Girl, you better get on
and
it.
you know what? I wish I still worked at Kroger, but then again, I was like,
I'm paying $18 an hour, yo.
They're gonna fire you. The thing is,
I'm paying $18 an hour.
I mean, you can make some money right now.
Yeah.
Kroger, Walmart, all them stuff, because they got plus they need bodyguards. They need a little bit of all of that.
You get your you do your unemployment though?
Yes, I did, and I just recently got something back about that. So y'all make sure y'all do y'all's unemployment.
If you're not working.
Yeah.
Don't try to file for unemployment and you're working.
Well, I don't know if everyone knows.
Well, you can have, the thing is like, you can have, like, if you got let go from one job and you should have another job, and like, say if you're a server or something, you can actually still file for unemployment for the job.
I'm not going to say that's true.
You can actually,
I know some people, I can't name no names, but some people tried that and it didn't work.
But it's a different time too. It ain't like
it is
normal.
true.
Yeah,
so it is true. It is with it
because technically you're not unemployed.
Right.
You just don't have a job because of the situation.
And
that's what it is.
That don't stop those recurring payments for real either.
Oh man, because you see,
I've been trying to talk to Captain One and I'm over it is that it's not getting paid.
Hey, I'm gonna be real honest. I had a bill collector call me yesterday, and I laughed in dude's face. I'm like, bro, I ain't got nothing for you right now, bro. I got nothing. He was like,
but there are some companies out here who's like, I think T-Mobile and some other people are like working with you, giving you some
I
incentives.
just think they shouldn't charge people right now. Just period. I don't
Yeah.
think it should.
Well-
you shouldn't pay your bill. I'm just saying, these 2 months, maybe you can, like, say if you are past due, then maybe you can get these 2 months for free. You can, you know, pay your bills, and then after those 2 months, then kind of like you starting over.
in New York,
They're
they
not
talk
about to
about they working on the bill for they don't have to pay they don't have to pay rent or they don't have to pay their
I think
houses
a
for
few
like
people
a year,
who don't.
so they can make sure that they
I'm
economy
saying,
don't
yeah.
super
Because
tank.
you gotta make sure, like, in those bigger cities, we actually were talking about that as well. So in the bigger cities, I think people gotta realize that, you know, they have a more effectiveness, they have more people there. So a lot of different stuff will happen in the bigger cities first, in the bigger states first, just because the amount of people that are there that could possibly get the virus. Not saying that you can't get the virus here, but there probably are more people that it happens to in the Californias, the New York City type of places. Those big places, maybe Florida, like those places like that. So, you know, they got to be very, very cautious about that as well. But Meth One, man, you just let us know too, man. How you been?
Oh, no, it's been a rough week, bro. There's been a lot of stuff going on because there's still normal life stuff, people dying and stuff like that going on this week. So it's been a rough week.
You know what?
I'm unemployed too, but sort of. So I'm unemployed, but they handed me like the keys to the entire state, and I'm just like, I don't really want this right now, but I got to make it 2 months, you know, till we back to normal. So
You got your booty though?
no, I've been out for 5 days in a row, and they found toilet paper. I can get you everything else in the world but toilet paper,
You
bro.
got chicken? What time you be going shopping?
Oh, bro, I got 40 pounds of chicken wings at the crib.
Oh, that's
I bet you do. They probably said 3 packs of chicken.
No, but he's
breast
big brother.
probably
No,
out.
but with me being a business and stuff, I can go places that the normal person can't go.
Like what?
There's a place called Restaurant. There's a place called Restaurant Depot.
They
Yeah.
got food there?
Heck yeah, bro. That's
Oh,
where I went and got 40 pounds a week.
No.
Now they had chicken all over the place, bro.
I'm sorry. You said 40 pounds of wings.
Yep.
I thought you said something totally different.
Oh, I heard that too, but I thought it go.
Wait a
He
minute.
said,
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. I got 40 pounds a week.
This became a different kind of show.
Bro, we walked in
Like,
there.
girl,
Yeah.
shut up, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Method
We went out to Restaurant Depot. They had whole chicken, half chicken, quarter chicken, chicken wings, chicken leg, chicken
So
breast.
when
Bro, they had everything.
so if my family needs some more meat, just contact you.
Oh,
Be like,
wait a minute. No.
Go.
No.
Pause.
When her family needs more chicken, she's gonna call for chicken beef. Chicken beef.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm
I want some lamb chops.
Yeah.
and
Lamb
some
chops.
avocado.
Right.
Girl, they them like $30 a pound right now. Everybody thinking
No,
about
so that's what she made, y'all, because that didn't come out right.
He said-
Y'all just negative.
When my family needs meat, that's who you call for the treatment.
You see what I know?
You need that meat. Call Big Bruh Seasoning.
But I mean,
Wow.
the whole thing, you know, with the business and stuff, especially if you're a small business owner, man, it's really, really rough because what can I do? I can't ship nothing out because I can't tell you when you're gonna get it. Like, you know,
Wow, true that.
and I mean, y'all need it because obviously I seen them shelves, bro, and y'all ain't out there buying no seasoning, which is a problem. Y'all need to, y'all out here cooking, no seasoning, Kool-Aid, no sugar. Hey, bro, y'all tripping.
Yeah, get your
I understand the world going crazy, bro, but don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, for me, this week has been very interesting, of course. You know, I work on campus, so once they close down classes and they close down everything else, then, you know, our job is to just make sure that we get everything out. It was kind of like emergency, like get all the food out, get this out so it won't expire. We got to put it in one place where somewhere else is open. So we're doing a lot of that type of stuff, kind of ripping and running right now. Trying to get those things together. But other than that, it's been a cool week, been a little hectic. I think I was most disappointed in the gyms closing. because I've been going to the gym and trying to get that
Did you
back
make your
together.
home gym?
And I'm just kind of depressed about that. And it's not that I can't do it at home. It's just that I have fallen in love. You know how like you fall in love with something all over again. So it's like, man, I'm going, and then it's like, and I'm forced to stop.
It's part of your routine.
Yeah,
now,
so
you know
it's
what I'm
like,
saying, and then you get used to.
So it's not easy to just. I was sad because I didn't want to just. I mean, of course, my wife did one, at home, and I was just like, I don't want to do it home right now. I was in the gym right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good.
You got used to being on. You built up a new habit. You got used to being on the machines and being in a groove when you go to the gym.
And that burn, man, like you know what I'm saying? Like that's real. Like when you get that burn and that feel, like that stuff, it don't feel good, but it feel good at the same time.
If we could get the weather that we get today, you really need it. You can just hit the walk, bro. I mean, there was a bunch of people out walking.
Yeah,
why you didn't say hit the weather?
No, wait a minute.
What?
Well, listen.
Nah,
When you from, I'm gonna keep it real with you. When you from, and this could be my own personal, but like when you're from the hood, cause like you don't think to just go jogging around the block. You know what I'm saying? Like your mindset is different. There's a lot of stuff going on.
It's still a bridge. You got bridge.
Listen, I'm naturally known to be afraid of dogs.
Yeah, I was just saying, you gonna get your good workout. Running for
I mean, literally, it's literally jogging in my neighborhood I live in now, and two dogs are just in their yard. No fence. No fence. You feel me? So I'm like, I gotta be brave enough to keep, because I mess around and make eye contact with the dog, and the dog look at me, and I'm looking at the dog, and like,
I think you're just overplaying it.
There's too much going on, so I
gotta be like, hype wife say
it.
Hype wife say it.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that.
No, seriously. Something like that happened. So like,
that dog got 6 pounds. Gonna fit the purse too. Got out of the purse.
No, wait. So like, it was terrible. Like I got really mad though, and I'm glad I didn't do what I wanted to do because the dog actually chased my wife in the house. So then I had to go into protective mode and say the dog. You know what I'm saying? And like it's about to be on. I had to pull up a dude's crib. Yeah, and had a conversation with dude. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, this is
where your dog. He's like, hold on, where your dog?
I was like, yo. Get your dog, B. You know what I'm saying?
The dog saying? We were saying all of this from the driver's side of the window. That's what he was telling you, right?
No, I pulled up. Come on, man. You know me. Man.
I was talking about the dog. I didn't talk about the person. Like,
of course the dog was put up. You think I'll be out there? You stupid? I'm smarter than that. Of course, the guy got the daggone dog. So then I had to be, like, what's up, cuz? You know what I mean? I had to do all that. Flex on him. And unfortunately, he didn't really understand what I was saying.
Oh,
but I can't say why y'all get it, but I don't want to mess up our audience. So like I couldn't really say because I don't think you really understood.
I'm sorry.
So I just like, okay, cool. We gonna rock with that.
All right, so we just gonna move on to the next topic before we get really get in trouble.
Yeah. So check this out, man. So a lot of stuff, like we said, we talk about the quarantine stuff, but it's also big news that has been happening while we're being. So if you're a guy or you're a sports fan, I'm gonna tell you now,
bro,
the NFL has finally got their off season right. You know what I mean? They finally got us intrigued in the off season and just doing crazy stuff. So the big news, man.
It's almost like the NFL said. I said, "Oh, the NBA, they're gonna have COVID-19.
Yeah.
Well, we'll show them.
Yeah,
it wasn't just one. It was two major things.
Yeah. So the NFL. So we're gonna talk about the two, right? So number one, Timothy Brady.
Bitch.
Who's some considered a Billy Goat.
The proclaimed
Billy Goat.
Actually, he's not proclaimed. If you look at the numbers, it's legit, bro.
I
know.
No. You're saying he is the GOAT.
Based off numbers.
So based off numbers,
he is
the GOAT.
He's still a level.
Quarterback.
Bitch.
Tom Brady. He is.
Was it him or was it the?
He's not going to be a Patriot anymore.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what was your first reaction?
There's no more Patriot fans.
Well, first and foremost,
really? You think so?
Yeah, everybody was just fans because of Tom
Chuck
Brady.
could have did that way back when he was
I
doing
kind
that
of
Hulu
felt
commercial.
like that too, though.
You think everybody was just Tom Brady fans?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Tom Brady's he's loved, but he's hated.
No, hold on. It's not that they was Tom
He
Brady
is.
fans.
I
I feel like a lot of bandwagon people loved a winner, and because the Patriots was the team, like pretty much going in any season, they're pretty much the favorites to win
So
every
just
season.
like 40-year-olds and
I feel like
in the Cowboys.
Oh,
no, because they're not the favorites to win nothing. If
No,
you're a
no,
Cowboy fan,
no,
you're a
no.
fan.
You're not hearing what I said.
It's like
They
Cleveland
were
Brown
winners.
fans.
No, you're not hearing what I said. They were winners during their time that
Yes.
they were going up.
Yes.
So now they're diehard fans.
The way
because
San
they're used
Francisco was
Yes.
at one point in time.
No,
Yeah.
like to me, like people who came out of the woodwork and all of a sudden Golden State fans, like
Are Ravens fans? The
No.
Ravens fans?
no, Ravens fans are pretty consistent though.
Nah, they got a lot of new fans this year.
I mean, yeah, but you can't help them. I mean, you got Lamar Jackson.
Oh, we can go with LeBron. We can just go with LeBron James. Oh, LeBron James on the team. I'm a fan of that team, bro. What you know about the team? I know.
Can we stick with it?
Oh, we got it.
I mean, I can't front on that because
He's one though. So
no,
what I'm saying.
I am a LeBron fan.
Yeah,
I'm an LA guy, but I
Okay,
wouldn't
so
really
let's stay with the NFL. Like,
Why can't we talk
I
about
don't wanna go
LeBron?
there. Well, I want to talk about NFL because it's what happened right now. We're talking about the news.
Fair enough.
So the Billy Goat.
Billy Goat.
So first off, he said he wasn't coming back.
Yep.
So he announced he's not coming back. He's piecing them out. So then everybody went into mode like trying to figure out where was he gonna go.
Or if he was going to retire.
But hold on.
The thought was that he might be going to San Francisco to
But before we
replace.
go that far,
At first they were the first was in it because they kept talking about is he gonna replace Jimmy G?
No, it was the Chargers. The Chargers was the biggest.
No.
they was
No, the
talking.
Chargers was the biggest, bro. Cause
It wasn't
the
Chargers.
Philip Rivers-
You thinking about?
That's like that.
They was talking about.
I forgot.
The Colts, bro.
Alright, good. Okay, alright, we're gonna get to y'all comments as well.
But no. What you were saying about Jimmy G is they was talking about Jimmy G going back to the Patriots.
Because
Wow,
because they were saying that Tom Brady was gonna come there for his final tour because he's from the Bay. And they were saying he was going home.
I thought the Chargers was big because
No, the very first one was the 49ers because they said he was going home. He was going to replace Jimmy G, and Jimmy G might go back out to New England.
Where's he going?
But then the 49ers.
Well, hold on. Let me ask y'all a question before we figure out where he's going. Was it his decision or was it their decision?
Who?
What?
They, like,
The team.
The 49ers?
No. Do you think the Patriots was like, yo, you guys, we need your cap space. You ain't gonna make it 2 more years. You got about 2 more years left. We need you to
Well,
roll.
it's hard to say because the only thing that we've heard was that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick had some talks recently, and they did not go well.
Well, they haven't been going well.
And they said, yeah, he's been kind of.
Because Tom Brady was part of the reason why Jimmy Garoppolo ain't there. Mm-hmm. So
well, here's what I say.
I think Bill Belichick.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
Yeah,
let me keep it 100 with y'all. Like this whole thing is just him literally being done. I think it was all Tom Brady. I don't think it really had to do with when you're somewhere for 20 years. I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure at one point you did want to leave because of somebody else. But when you stick it out and you still win championships, it's kind of like, okay, that's bad.
So
well,
he's gonna be a part of the Buccaneers now.
That's what they're saying right now.
Oh no, he's signed.
Nah, he signed.
He signed today.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I mean, it says Florida, but what does he have to lose at this point? It's almost
he don't got nothing to prove, but it's
almost like LeBron. What does he really have to? He don't have to. If he goes to Tampa
maybe he
Bay,
was tired of just being a Patriot.
if he goes to Tampa Bay, then
He'll go somewhere warmer. I mean, I figured he would go somewhere warmer because
what I'm saying is, if he goes to Tampa Bay, if he would have went to Miami, if he would have went to another team, if he would have went to the Colts, the point is he just needs to prove that, hey, I'm the best quarterback that you've ever seen in your life. No matter what team I go to, or what would you do if I'm old and I need weapons? You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm not as good as I was, so let me put a lot of weapons behind me.
But he is.
But the Patriots were.
With the Patriots, though, everything soured with Tom Brady when he got hurt, and they put in Jimmy G, and Jimmy G showed out.
And then
Bill Belichick
Someone
was like,
said
that's my
Brady
guy
will
for
be
the future. Like,
this year.
And then the black kid that they had behind
First
Jimmy
of all,
G.
listen,
Remember when Jimmy G got hurt? And then they put the black kid in and he still was winning?
We gotta listen.
Still thinking about money. Because, you know, he's like the Tim Duncan of the NFL. He was always taking pay cuts. He was always doing it. He was winning, but he would always
Patriots
take
don't
the
want to pay
cut.
nobody.
Because they would get, the Patriots would get big names. Remember, they went after Randy Moss at one point. They went after AB. They go after big players.
Isaiah.
But he wasn't
pay
the
big
one.
money to them.
Right. But
Isaiah
he wasn't
on
the one.
Facebook
Hold on,
said-
Melanie, let me finish.
Oh,
He was the one that wasn't
sorry.
taking
One moment.
all the,
Mhm.
you know.
To
all
keep
the-
at least somebody around him so
Right.
he could do
Now, what did
his thing.
Isaiah say?
said Tom is trash. He's going through a midlife crisis.
Who
He
is?
can't stop the feelings.
You can't.
He said
Why
Tom
y'all keep
Brady.
saying
You can't say he's
Tom
trash,
Brady?
bro.
Don't he
Like,
got like 6 championships?
he do. He got more championship rings than
Christian
anybody else, bro.
said that
But I mean, it's a team sport.
if he does horrible at Tampa Bay with all that receiver talent,
It doesn't
it'll
matter.
forever make it look like Belichick made him.
Belichick.
No, it ain't. He still got 6 rings.
Belichick.
Belichick still cannot. You know what Belichick can't do? He can't make him accurate out there. That's for sure. He can't make him read them lines out there.
You
Like,
like him or something?
I don't.
Okay,
But
that's-
like, if you look, talent is talent, bro. I ain't gotta like somebody to, you know what I'm saying? Be
Somebody
like,
Why you
hey,
be
Hey,
hating
man,
on- Why you be hating on me all the time?
dude, bro.
Tell him, I'm good.
Huh?
I'm good.
You're different. It's a whole different concept, bro. Don't you bring that evil to me, Ricky Bobby.
But no, Tom Brady. I think we gotta stop. This is what I hate about that. This is what I hate about people sometimes. Like, I know there's fans, we diehard fans. I'm gonna tell you now. Listen, I'm gonna tell you now. I am a Colts fan. Liking Tom Brady is not something I do at all.
Hey,
You get what I'm saying?
you ain't gonna be a Colts fan this year, because you
Wait,
sure know
shut
it.
up, bro. I just wanted to say I was a fan. We ain't got to talk about this. What I'm saying is, you gotta give cats credit. Like, I never was the biggest LeBron James fan. Y'all know it.
But I mean,
But, I mean,
he the greatest in the
Right.
game, active. So
Hey, stop saying
Greatest.
greatest. But I mean, he's
active.
I know, but
Active.
okay. But I'm just saying, there's nobody that's stopping dude from doing whatever he wants on the court. Now, here's the thing with Tom Brady. I think it had to do with money, like I said. I think he just wanted to be in a position where everybody will pay whatever for him. He's the man.
Yeah.
Because he about to retire.
This is last
I think he's
contract.
just-
It's got
I
his
think he
last
just wanna be
contract.
born,
yeah.
bro.
No, it might not be the last contract. Is it a 1-year contract or 2?
It's 2
You know?
years.
No,
It's 2
it's
years.
like
Okay, so yeah, if it's 2 years, like I say, he's probably just trying to ride off into the sunset. His challenge is, can he take a team that is hosting the Super Bowl, can he take them to the championship? So it's another challenge that he has set before he retires.
Well, the thing is, the
All those
Bucks,
things matter,
the
in
Bucks
my opinion.
could actually be good. They do have crazy talent in the receiver.
Maybe they wasn't bad, they didn't have-
if they can stay healthy.
Remember that?
But
And
if
then
they
he
keep
needs-
the talent,
So
they
what
gotta keep
is-
the talent. You know what I'm
What
saying?
is the greatest
They don't lose
system quarterback?
The greatest system.
System quarterback?
I mean,
That's what
is it not? Is it not? Is it not Tom Brady?
Tom Brady.
Brady.
Nah, I
Peyton
actually
Manning?
really don't.
Peyton Manning, maybe.
Nah, I would actually.
What?
No.
System
No, because
quarterback?
the system
Yeah.
went down when Peyton Manning went down.
Exactly.
The system.
No,
If
exactly.
you're gonna go system quarterback,
Exactly.
I would
He
probably.
That's what I
was the
said.
system.
Right.
He
That's
was
what I
the
said.
system.
If you want
That's what
to
I'm saying,
talk
so,
about greatest
I mean-
system quarterback, I'm probably gonna go with Joe Montana, but that's just because.
But they say
No,
Tom
no,
Brady
no,
is
no.
Joe Montana.
Nah,
They say
You
that.
can't, no, you can't say
He's a
system
49ers
quarterback because you're saying
He's a
going for the 49ers. And
You're not
then
gonna convince him differently.
almost he did the same thing when he went to the Chiefs. Like, different.
Yeah.
No, Joe Montana was something different. That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason why they're saying, is it really Tom or is it Belichick? Like,
Who cares? They won championships.
I mean, that's what it's gonna come down to. He got 6 rings,
Six
bro. He got the same amount of rings that
And the
Thanos
Steelers
needed
got.
to snap. You know what I'm saying? So,
should have went for the head. Should have went for the head.
you know,
All right. So what else happened in the?
Todd Gurley, bro. What is?
Todd
Todd
Gurley.
Why?
Got signed by the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm gonna say it's over money. I'm gonna say that one was probably
Matt-
Is he
money.
from-
Matt-
is he from Atlanta?
Not that I know
Matty Ice,
What, but he
Todd
played-
Gurley, Julio Jones.
of. Ooh,
I mean,
that's
maybe.
ugly.
And then who's the?
He saved Matt Ryan's career. If
They
he
got a
would-
good-
Him
they got
going
a-
there saved Matt Ryan.
Who's they?
Matt Ryan was probably gonna get traded.
But wait,
Yeah.
they got a good. They
Because
got a
Matty
good.
Ice, sometimes he's cold as ice, sometimes
They
this
got a
boy.
good tight end. Who's they tight end? They got a real good tight end.
They got a good tight end, and who's the
He ain't
second
that good as
receiver?
Cam Taylor.
I cannot think right now. I can't remember, but they gonna be a problem. I mean,
Hey, these memes are funny.
so maybe we think they're gonna be a problem.
All right, so we got Todd Gurley, and then what else happened?
Hey, hey,
Phillip Rivers.
goes to the Colts because the Colts thought it was a good job. They was like, hey, let's pick up.
Because the Chargers decided. The Chargers
No,
said.
I'm gonna speak on this.
I was already off the Colts. I was back on the Chargers.
I know. I'm gonna speak on this because, of course, I'm an actual fan of the Colts.
Right.
So here's what I'm
Tickets
trying
gonna
to
be
make.
cheap.
Here's what. No. Check this out. Here's what I'm thinking. Because we joking now. We don't have the thing about being a Colts fan, and this is gonna sound bad out loud. We don't always have high expectations. Just keep it real. With teams like the Colts, maybe like Miami.
Well, Miami screwed up.
No.
Oh,
Listen. Our expectations are what? Make the
playoffs.
Maybe win our division. If we go to a Super Bowl, we go. That's not. I'm not going to knock at the Colts.
Let me ask you that.
But that's
Have
how
the expectations for the Colts changed since Peyton left? Because the thing with what was the expectations?
Hold on, stop. I'm gonna tell you why you need to stop. Because y'all forgetting about the whole bullshit that happened anyway. The whole bullshit is like, we are scrambling because we thought we had a quarterback for the next 5 to 6 years.
Oh yeah, he put up his statement back. You know what?
When you put a plug on an organization who thought you were going to be the quarterback for the next 5 years, I'm sorry. Listen, no, like the Colts. No, you got y'all think.
Hold on. Let me say this.
Not only that, when he did it too, like
he
didn't do it way back.
Hold on. Because my chick is a Colts fan, bro. Nah, he was getting blasted. I watched him for seasons. I watch him get hit the ball.
Here's the problem.
He's dead, bro.
Here's the problem.
He would get up like the Undertaker.
Andrew, how you feeling? I can make a book of talk.
Y'all still, I'm gonna tell you why y'all still wrong.
You got CTE.
I'm gonna tell y'all why y'all still wrong.
You got hanging out with Antonio Brown.
Y'all still wrong. I'm gonna tell you why y'all still wrong. Cause all of this, y'all say all of that. Every time you play, bro, we almost got to the Super Bowl. So when you pull the plug, on something like that, and we had a line. The reason why they say Phillip Rivers is probably gonna have a decent year this year is because he has a line to protect him. We didn't have a line, and he was getting blasted. Dude, this is the year we spend money on offensive tackles, bro. And he says, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? That throws off your whole organization.
Yeah, but that's good. That's because
Look at the deal. Phillip Rivers, 1 year.
Yeah.
It's 1 year. It's not something that we're fully committed.
He's a bridge quarterback.
Right.
As a matter of fact, not only that.
I'll take Phillip Rivers. I'm not getting Brady.
No, but here's the real.
I'm not getting Brady. I don't want Flacco.
Here's the real.
You know what I'm saying? Who else am I gonna get?
No, but here's the real deal, though.
Winston?
Here's the real deal.
Exactly. Like, who else?
What's the real deal?
Here's the real deal. They signed.
I don't know fucking Mariota. Excuse me. I don't know. Bro. Seriously?
Well, he need a job right now because he's
He's gonna get a job. Here's the real deal, though.
I'll take it.
Phillip Rivers, you got a veteran quarterback who's proven for 1 year. But the draft ain't come up yet. Yeah. They still gonna probably pick up a nice.
We traded our draft pick though, our first round there.
But they probably was gonna get somebody. They're probably gonna get somebody in the second round anyway.
I guess we appreciate that.
They was probably gonna get somebody in the second round anyway.
No, we was looking at the Oregon dude. We was looking at the dude from Oregon.
The quarterback from Oregon.
But he might. The reason why
they think he's gonna slide to the second round.
Right. They probably think that. So
yeah, because you know, Joe Burrow's gonna go first. He done already bought a house in Cincinnati. He already know.
Yeah.
So he bought a house in Indian Hills in Cincinnati, like it's a wrap.
So I think.
Why would you do that? That's a career killer.
Yeah. So we got to Tom Brady. We got to Tom Brady. We got to Todd Gurley. We got to Phillip Rivers.
And Ryan Tannehill. Shout out to Ryan Tannehill for taking that job from her.
I'm sorry.
Why? What do you mean? Why? You crazy?
Dog. He showed up. Ryan Tannehill showed up to the bank with a ski mask and robbed Tennessee.
From a person who I paid enough attention to Tannehill, bro. Tannehill was straight until they tried to change the system that he played in. They tried to make him a scramble quarterback. You can't make him a scramble quarterback. He's a pocket quarterback, bro.
So you mean to tell me that when you have quarterbacks that are available, you tell me Ryan Tannehill was the best pick?
Bro, he got him where he got him though.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
No, they paid Ryan Tannehill and didn't pay your boy. Paid they running back.
The young
They
man that was rushing for
disrespected Derrick Henry.
That-
Got them to where they
That
was.
boy was running
Derrick
for
Henry
3
and their
yards.
defense.
And
Derrick
he-
Henry and their defense got him, and then they put the franchise tag on Derrick Henry and then paid Tannehill.
I'm just
Disrespectful.
saying. I'm just
Still,
saying.
wait, hold on. Was this Derrick Henry's? What year is it?
This is
Yes,
contract
contract
year.
year.
Yeah.
They put a franchise tag on him, didn't pay him, and paid
But that don't
Tannehill.
mean nothing right now, because I mean they still might. It just matter.
Disrespectful.
We got
Hold on. But the first big trade that started all this, the Houston Texans was, I don't know, snorting lions down in Houston or something. They got rid of
that really was a coach thing.
Yeah, it was a coach thing. He fell out with Bill O'Brien, but they traded away Derek Hopkins for some In-N-Out burgers or something. You know what I'm saying?
So aside from this whole NFL
gift card.
stuff, people switching and stuff, how do y'all feel about like there's no like March Madness or anything?
Oh, we
You mean
talked
March
about that
Sadness?
last week. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, we just read out.
We don't want
Y'all see like the brackets that people been making?
Yeah,
did you
We'll
see-
come up with a bracket of like something.
If we did an R&B bracket, I'm sorry.
I made
Who's
one
your
today.
final four?
Who was my final four? Okay, first of all, I made my own bracket today and put it out today because I had to take Josie off the list.
Why?
Because the old bracket, the old bracket was out a couple weeks ago that everyone was passing around. That only had like 8 or 12 teams or something on it.
Yeah.
Jodeci ran away with it. Like Jodeci was the '90s R&B
But
group.
Jodeci
But
they was
and I can't argue with that.
sound, bro.
Yeah.
the national championships of the record.
They created the sound.
No, for real.
Everybody can't sing in that group.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
can be able
I
to
know
sing.
it's white Christian.
Wait, hold on.
Everybody can't sing.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
They don't have to be able to
Everybody
sing.
can't
You had
Who
wait.
got singing Drew Hill?
The ones that didn't sing. The
Who?
ones that didn't sing.
Who?
What didn't they go from 3? They go from 4 people to 3 people.
No, we talking about
And
Drew
then there's
Hill.
5 people.
Nah. We
All right,
talking about
wait a
Drew
minute.
Hill.
Hold on.
We talking about
Drew Hill was the thing. And the thing is,
Okay, where's the man?
the
Who
reason.
can't sing?
Hold on.
The 4th guy that got left.
But you needed that, though. You needed to talk. Dude, I'm sorry. You needed that, bro. At that time, you needed to talk, bro.
Hold on. So, Jodeci had 2 strong singers, and
You ain't gonna
Casey
say
and
nothing, but he
Casey
had-
and
But one
JoJo.
of them was
Hold
a
on.
producer.
We
Devontae Swing was
got
a
it.
producer.
We got
though,
it.
so.
Yeah, and I don't know what Mr. Dalvin did. Stand outside and look cool.
But I guess every group had that one.
Hold on.
Like,
But the thing,
why are you here?
the thing about Jodeci is, and I think this was what made it a good argument why I took them out of the running. They almost like an all-man team. You play them in the bonus
Hey, who
round.
else is all man? No, I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let me finish my thought. Let me finish.
Yes, sir.
Let me finish. Jodeci, you look at their first 2 albums, R&B breakers. They broke the genre.
Slaps.
For a 90s group, and we're only talking about 90s. This was only 90s group.
Slaps.
And even on so the first bracket that came out a couple weeks ago was only male R&B groups. So I redid the bracket and made it a 32-team bracket, and I added a female. I put female R&B groups in the 90s.
Who you put?
3LW. I mean,
They all not first round picks. You know what I'm saying?
in bold, for women, for females, it would
That's not the one. No.
for females, it would be
Destiny's Child, TLC, In Vogue, Escape, like
Escape.
SWV, like.
But how are we just talking?
But see, for males, you was talking about for males.
Who's the
Who
final
male?
four? Who's the
For
final
males?
four, guys?
You talking about for males?
Final four.
No.
So take your
I took Josie out and run it.
Just take it out.
No, keep Jodeci in.
No.
The final four.
Okay, so
I just said the final four. So
Okay, so I'm
you know it.
gonna give you Jodeci.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you Mint Condition.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you Tony, and I'm gonna give you Backstreet, bro. Blackstreet.
Why I thought you said Backstreet?
No.
Boys.
Blackstreet, bro. They got it.
No, I would say Josie is in there. Mint Condition, I would have to say Drew Hill. And then depending on how it works out, I'd probably say for me the fourth one.
Boyz II Men, maybe.
I would actually probably end up going with.
I'm so frustrated.
I be ready to smack people because they be like, "Well, New Edition don't deserve
So
it."
y'all mean
But
New Edition's the '80s group.
But
New
I'm just
Edition's
saying.
the
But
80s group.
they was talking about why is New Edition on here? They was like, even if they
Yeah.
shouldn't be there, and I'm like, their solo careers died. Like they were literally a super group, like super.
And they created other groups, but they're an '80s group, so they shouldn't be in the running for a '90s group. I just did this for '90s. Like even Destiny's Child, I threw them in there because Say My Name came out in 1999, but technically it came out in '90, but really they're a 2000 group. Yeah, they're really a 2000 group.
They really hit the.
But their first album came out in 1999.
Yeah.
So.
But I just think
Who you
one
got?
of the. I mean, I can't really say because I'm too biased. Like, there's one group that I absolutely, if you know anything about me, I absolutely love this one group, and that's Drew Hill. I love Drew Hill. Period. Like,
I
it doesn't
understand
really
it.
matter,
So-
but I gotta take out my bias.
Look.
So if I take out my bias, you know, like, cause I look at what I like to hear. Of course, production was great. The new sound. So like, you know, like Jodeci and then shout out
Boyz
to
II Men.
Hold on, Jodeci, and shout out to like Zoe, because he said something about Run DMC earlier when he was talking about a local artist, and it was like they did create the new sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, thanks to Jodeci, there was a new sound of R&B. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking at it from the perspective of singers. Casey and JoJo, of course, powerful voices of the 90s. You can't deny that. You know what I'm saying? But like when it came to harmonies and it came to things like that, like I think about stuff like that as well. Love songs, you know, they had more. Jodeci had more of the, you know, they had that effect that you could relate to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you talk about, you know, just, you know, not just a certain kind of love song, you know what I'm saying? Like you talking about just love songs, you got Boyz II Men, you got Drew Hill,
but that's
Nick
not
Edition.
Tony, bro.
I know it's not saying that, but the reason why you're saying that though is because I'm not gonna say that a national champion. The reason why you're saying that is because Jodeci did separate themselves. But what I'm saying is Drew Hill don't sound like Jodeci.
Hold on, but let me explain something because while you're gone. So I'm a huge Jodeci fan, and then I'm probably the #1 Mint Condition fan. However, when the first bracket came out, I argued people on the same thing because I thought about more than just this. I thought about a lot of other stuff. I thought about longevity. I thought about, you know what I'm saying, like the strength of singers. I thought about a lot of stuff. So actually, in an upset, to me, in an upset, Drew Hill took down Jodeci, and Drew Hill faced Mint Condition in my final in the first bracket. You know what I'm saying? So I had Drew Hill in there just for a lot of the reasons that you're saying. But that's what I said. But like, it's like everybody else I talked to said Jodeci hands down. I can't argue it because I love Jodeci. But I was like, okay. I said, if that's the way y'all feel, so we can have a real conversation about these groups. Let's take Jodeci out of it. Now let's look at all the rest of the groups and say who's here.
He talking about creating a new style though. Boyz II Men created the new jack swing. That was they create. That's their thing, the new jack swing.
No.
Not to mention, hey bro, they released a Christmas album that slaps.
No, we're not talking about just that, cause like
no, but if you look at the whole scope of
you're right. I'm not arguing against your point. I'm just probably making your point a little bit more. Like the thing with music is a lot of times we try to get
subjective.
Yeah, we try to separate things that don't really need to be separated. Like Jodeci was there for a reason. Drew Hill came for a reason. Drew Hill might not have been there if it wasn't for Jodeci. You know what I'm saying? Like
now,
all of these groups
also you're talking about the difference in Jodeci and Drew Hill is you're talking about two groups at bookends of the 90s. Jodeci was early 90s.
And then what's in the middle?
Drew Hill was middle to late 90s. You know what I'm saying? So it's
you probably
like Tony.
Like high school. Jodeci was just
But this Drew Hill was elementary school. You feel me? I'm a kid. Like so, I'm a kid and I'm vibing to this all the way up to high school.
Yeah,
so I'm like, yo, they been around, you know, for a nice amount of time for me. So I'ma always, you know, be a big huge
I just think,
deal
and
for
the only reason I couldn't argue Jodeci with other people is because honestly, their first 2 albums rewrote the R&B genre, and
You're right.
for true R&B, Forever My Lady,
But you say the same
Forever
thing
My Lady
about-
classic albums,
You
no
still-
skips.
You can still say the same thing
And
about
then,
Boyz II
but then,
Yep.
class.
And Tony.
Hold on. Boyz II Men is that true R&B though?
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, they had some
pop
rock elements.
crossover.
Gotta kick
That's
him out of
pop
here.
crossover.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's pop crossover. It's just like
Well, y'all didn't say
it's
nothing
like
about
Destiny's Child.
Jagged Edge.
You didn't tell me Destiny's Child.
Why
Destiny's
is that
Child.
not R&B?
Destiny's Child
Why is
lines
that
up
R&B?
as R&B,
You don't think
straight
Jodeci
R&B
more
against
crossover
Escape
than-
or
Jodeci's more
SWV.
crossover than Boyz II Men.
I think it was just time.
Jodeci's way more crossover than
No.
Boyz II Men. Bruh, Jodeci reached the hood, cuz. Like,
Bro, they did.
Boyz II Men was just typical R&B.
Jodeci
That old
got
school,
one of my
that old
favorite-
school R&B, bro. That's literally what they were. They brought it back when they came out.
Bro,
bruh.
Jodeci
They
has one of my
first
favorite
album.
Maybe
remixes.
Temptation.
They-
You feel me?
no.
They're like, Jodeci, who's name a group that's old?
Temptation.
Did nobody come and see you, Otis?
Right. Name a group. Listen. Name a group that was old that is compared to Jodeci. That you can compare them to Jodeci.
Jodeci?
You can't.
Isley
You
Brothers?
can't.
I
Because
think like the Isley
Jodeci
Brothers.
is something. Jodeci is something.
Isley Brothers.
Hell the fuck to Jodeci? No.
Don't you go?
Are you serious?
Did he just turn into Soulja Boy? Really?
No, bro.
He did.
Jodeci, bro. No, real talk. Because Jodeci, bro, is like every hood. Like you don't understand. Every hood.
The Isley
Hood?
Brothers.
No, we talking about hood. No, we ain't talking about
Boys-
in the hood.
boys-
No, we
boys
ain't talking about
to
in the
men
hood.
is a
We talking about hood. We talking about
By the
hood.
time when they hit their second album, they were crossing over to the other crowd.
All right,
Miss
y'all.
That's
Temptation.
like just like he was talking about
Miss
that
Temptation
Jack Swing. They wasn't Jack
Jodeci
Swing.
was street love.
But let's go.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, can we all
That's right, R&B.
agree?
It's
Can
just
we
like-
all agree that the greatest female group of the '90s though was TLC?
In the 90s. I just hate how they got
I'm gonna go
Was there?
facts, but I'm gonna go with this TLC. They got a bad hand in the '90s, bro.
TLC
But I'm gonna go
was
with
But
TLC.
how
What
they
you
but,
judging? You feel me?
but-
Say what you about to say. Say what you about to say.
no, but how they got done dirty on their contracts, what they got to do with the music?
Right, so
So
ain't they Jodeci? Would they be the? Would they be? Would
Bro, they was
TLC?
wearing condoms in the video,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
would
hey,
TLC?
hey,
be
TLC,
female Jodeci?
they ain't too proud to be that.
I mean, I'm asking. I mean, did they have that same effect?
But they had the crossover effect too. Like
Yeah,
they
they
played both sides, bro.
but they related to the hood though. The TLC related to
Nah,
the hood.
but I think the female, nah, the female. Listen to me. The female Jodeci is probably gonna be Escape, bro. Like if it's gonna be Escape, it's gonna be Escape,
No,
bro.
what do y'all mean the female boys?
Escape was nah.
Nah, the female boys and men gonna be in vogue because it started with 4 and ended with 3.
Girl, you got to go.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be Destiny's Child though?
But the thing I like about
Nah,
music,
They went to
Nah,
two for
they
four.
wouldn't-
They fired 2, got 2 more. Like, no, that ain't gonna work
I'm
in.
not gonna talk about the 2000s because I think the
That's
2000s.
True.
It's
True.
2000. You gotta realize R&B. I ain't gonna say.
You've
But
already-
see, you talk about Jagged
But
Edge.
but
Jagged
bad
Edge
for
was
them.
2000.
It
Groups,
Jagged Edge was
groups,
2000.
groups were done. In the 2000s, there was how many groups were there?
Group was done at about 2010.
It was-
That's why
it was-
B2K was
you
so
had,
big. If you think about it, that's why B2K was
Hold on,
so
what was,
big.
and then the one
Because
that
there
Diddy
wasn't
had,
groups
what was
out.
the group that Diddy
Wait a
had?
minute. But not only that,
Dirty Money.
No, the guy group.
Oh God.
Oh, they
Day
Yeah.
I love
Take
I
Life.
like Day
Day
26.
26. And what was the girl group?
Danny
Danny
Kane.
Danny
Yeah,
Kane.
So Day 26, Day.
I like-
Yeah, but they only had like an album. They only
That was
had-
before they broke up.
And real talk, Day 26, you only bought into them because you had seen so
But
much
see,
of
she
the
said-
back. You
But
seen
that's
so
okay,
much
but
reality
that's
on for
right,
them.
But she talking about
I
Jagged
like them
Edge.
though.
To be honest, Jagged Edge
Oh,
was the
Jagged
group that
Edge.
ran the 2000s as a.
Jagged
And they came out in the 90s, so they're on
But
their
see,
own
they like
thing.
Nicki Minaj.
What about
No,
112?
they like Nicki Minaj because there was a point where
112 was
there
like
wasn't no
early
other
90s.
groups. You feel me? Like Jagged Edge was out, and it was maybe 112, but it was not too many.
But that was the
people
end of
who-
112, and it was the end of Black. It was the end of Black Street.
Right. You know what I'm
It was
saying?
like they was
Nah,
coming
it
in on
wasn't,
the.
it wasn't really the end of 112.
It's the end of it.
No,
I mean-
but 112 had a more watered down kind of, you know what I'm saying? They were
B2K
singing more love type songs.
I don't know,
And
so
Jagged Edge
No.
stepped into the groove
What,
that
for you
Jodeci
five-year-olds at the
and Drew
time?
Hill was in. We used to
She
straight.
gonna say,
We had her.
she
We
gonna
are
say,
singing love songs with
cuz,
Tim.
I was just
She gonna
kidding.
holler.
Where the party at?
Hey, she gonna holler, was B5.
I was just kidding.
I said, if you was 5 years old at the time.
So I'm gonna go ahead and break this down while you was talking about singing love songs and Tim. Shout out to H-Town because y'all's first dudes.
They on
Singing
that.
love songs and Tim.
They on that.
Yeah.
It was like, bro. First
That
one
was
was Jodeci.
Jodeci.
Was they doing it Tim's
Yeah,
too?
they from,
Jodeci was the start of that, though. You know what I mean? Like, Jodeci was the
They made a
start
song
of
about it,
making
though.
that.
Yeah.
That's why I said TLC. That's why I said TLC reminds me of that Jodeci effect where they came out and they were so street and they were just like
And
street
they evolved.
love.
They
Like
just-
Tammy said, like it was that street love. It was like, I'm gonna give it to you the way you know, this is how it is. I'm gonna sing the way I sing. I got unique voices. I got a rapper in TLC. Like all of that,
Who
bro.
can sing? A rapper who can sing?
sing?
Yeah, she can sing.
You feel me? So she was nuts. She was crazy too. Like, you feel me? Like so that was man.
But
That,
like I
that
said,
was dope.
I thought it was a good conversation
But how-
anyway.
how
though.
long-
And people, it's hard to not take your personal bias out of it because, like I said, you can talk about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
You know what
I'm
I'm-
a Nick
let-
Condition fan, so
I'm gonna give y'all one group though,
musician,
and this is I'm gonna give y'all a sliding group though. How y'all feel about SWV though?
That was dope.
Like
Dope.
SWV,
Dope.
yeah.
Sisters with voices.
So yeah, they got me so weak in the knees.
Yeah.
Rain, it was
Yeah.
rain, dog. Dog, what was
the
that?
Human Nature remix?
Hey, that Human Nature remix is
They
crazy,
come on
bro.
my
Even
door all the
now,
time.
even now, I still listen to
Human
it.
Nature
Hey,
remix,
bro.
slapped.
People they forgot all about SWV, bro. Like SWV.
So
Wait, I was gonna say,
one more thing. Yeah.
one of the things that made Drew Hill really fall in there too and really take off too is because by the late 90s, a lot of the other Caucasian kind of boy bands had taken, you know, a lot of the African American boy bands and stuff like that.
What about
groups.
NSYNC? Since you said that.
But that's what I'm
I
saying.
love
NSYNC,
Are they
Backstreet
2000,
Boys.
right? Are they
They
2000?
are 2000.
Yeah, but all
Nah,
them
they're not.
came
They're
in
not.
late 90s.
NSYNC is the 2000s.
Nah,
No,
they're
they had a
not.
big hit in the 2000s.
Nah, they had it
run.
before that.
Wait,
We didn't
like-
know.
like
We didn't know listen to that. No, they
No,
were out.
they're
They were
90s
out
group. No,
before.
they're
They out
90s
before
group.
Britney was. Like he had.
They were 90s.
Oh, yeah,
They were
you're
90s
right.
group, but
You're
not
right.
like
Like,
he didn't know.
We're not talking about the mixtapes that was dropped.
You're
before
right.
the
Nah, it ain't no mistake, bro. There was
No, I'm just saying. We're talking about the mixtapes.
Yeah, because it's like-
No, wait. Let me say this because this is what I hate about people. Because like
I knew about it since '86.
exactly like Kendrick Lamar, right?
Y'all
I
hate.
knew about Kendrick Lamar, and y'all can hate me for this all you want. I knew about him at Good Kid, Mad City. That's where
I
I
knew
did.
about him in Section 80. Even
See what happened? Do you
Uh-huh.
see exactly what
Yeah.
happened? I'm not saying
No,
that he wasn't
good.
good then. I'm just saying
Nah.
I got put onto him for real on Good
To
Kid,
be
Mad
honest,
City.
I'm gonna tell you what it
So
was with
that's all I'm
NSYNC.
saying.
With NSYNC though, it was that for a long time, like they never had before. If you notice, before the first two albums, they were a boy band. They get to that third album though, and they're like, "Yo, the kid with the curly hair with the really good voice, you the lead, homie." And then Justin Timberlake kind of took over the group, and then that's what
They
kind
had 3 albums before they had a.
They had 2 albums. No, the other 2 albums are
What was the
fine.
first- Well, Bad was on what album was that on?
Because
that was their biggest hit.
No Strings Attached. That was their
That was their first hit,
album. Yeah.
right?
But
Look at up, Melody. You already know.
It
I know
says-
she's on it.
It says NSYNC's first hit was in 1998.
Bye,
I
bye, bye.
Want You Back.
oh yeah,
I want you Oh
I
yeah.
did know that.
Like I said, late '90s, they came
I think
in.
2000.
But Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and a lot of
98 Degrees.
What was that? All for One. They had a lot of them type of groups that took over the boy band.
As soon as they got colder, they.
You know what I'm saying? What were they called? Blue Eyed Soul. They took over that. Yeah.
That's what they used to call it. Well, that was what they called it back in the day.
John B. and you know what I'm saying Robert.
Hey, bro, hold on, John B. Black. Y'all tripping? Y'all tripping, bro. John B. He still looked the same too, bro. Like he still got the same.
All right, y'all. So we gotta have another conversation, y'all. So We ended up talking about the brackets, and we talked about Tom Brady, NFL news, and Todd Gurley, Phillip Rivers. And we also talked about the coronavirus as well. So we did talk about you all staying safe and making sure you sanitize your house, wash your hands, your butt, and all that. Brush your teeth, all that type of stuff. So now what we're going to talk about now, we have to get to the point where we talk about the local
scene.
Artists, the independent artists of our city in Kentucky, and how we're going to continue to build relationships. So if you're on here right now and you're a local artist, you're like, yeah, we love the conversation, it was great, but when are we going to get to some of our stuff? This is that time. If you're a fan of the Kentucky scene, then please make sure you tune in as well. Go ahead and share this live feed. Shout out to LiveXport. Want to make sure we say that. Shout out to Flanagan's as well. Flanagan's is our home. That's where we usually are at. And then shout out to Fun Fridays as well. Of course, we can't have it due to the coronavirus and everything and the pandemic that's going on. So we can't have those events, but make sure that you check those events out and all of that. So if you can, please make sure you share this video right now. LiveXport is amazing. LiveXport is doing this for us. So shout out to everybody at LiveXport as well. So the next thing that I wanted to get us to talk about was really something that had to do with the promoters and the artists. Now, I know this is a fun conversation that we can always have. We can go back and forth about it, but I think this conversation is always evolving into something new and something different every time. So, with that being said, how do you all feel, and I want y'all to just go straight down the line, how do you all feel about artists paying to be on a show? Just go down the line, everybody.
I'm an artist, so I'm going to go last, and I'll tell you.
It's hard to say because I think sometimes, and a lot of artists don't want to be honest and say that they need exposure, they need, and it's kind of sad too because there are some avenues now where you can practice being on stage, practice being in front of crowds, work on your craft, like the vibe and things like that, and there's several venues for you to do that. I don't know, I think some artists need that. I think the point is, can the market sustain that that's not always the case, where we have promoters who are not always trying to make artists, especially artists that shouldn't be trying to pay to get on. Like there's some artists here who have most definitely earned their due and should be on a lot of these shows where big artists are coming through to be seen. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that they should have to go through the same rigmarole like they just started yesterday. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of artists here that have paid their due and deserve to be seen by bigger artists or something. Mm-hmm. And some artists, you know what I'm saying, if that's where your particular part of the journey is, then maybe that's what needs to be done for you to grow.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Melody.
So I think that's a good point. If you kind of got that whole entourage like that, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even find the word that I'm looking for. But anyway, if you're like known out here, I personally don't think that you technically should have to pay. But also, it's kind of like you investing in yourself. I feel as if it's okay to pay to perform as long as it's not anything outrageous. Mm-hmm. Some people do be taxing, I'll give you that. Mm-hmm. And it only be like 5 people in the crowd type thing. So it all depends. What?
I want to go down the line.
Okay, because I just want to throw something else in. But yeah.
So that's my outlook on it. So just see if it's a best fit for you. Like if it's not, then don't pay. If it is, and you believe you'll gain more exposure and everything from it, then pay.
I'm good with no. 1, I've never done it. 2, my biggest thing is, so if you're taxing me for that show, I could use that money to buy more promotional gear. I could use it to reach my fans because I know where my fans are, and I could use it to do more stuff. My whole thing is, for the amount of money, like she said, for most of the time they be taxing. When they taxing, I could find more productive ways to use that money, because you're like, oh man, what if the star sees you, yada yada. Most of the time they keep the stars. If you've ever performed with a bigger artist, depending on who the promoter is, they literally, and the artist, they'll keep you separated. So it's not really doing you any favors. You might get a few fans here and there, but man, like if I'd rather take that $1,200 instead of doing that performance to take a tour. I can take a little small tour for college. You know, I can do a college tour for $1,200 and get more exposure. So that's just how I feel about it. Mine is like, it's all about being smarter with what you're doing instead of working harder. And sometimes, I mean, it could be a good fit, but like Big Goldie said, don't treat, every artist is not the same. Every artist is not the same, you know. Every artist ain't your Sasha Renee's and they not your Rob Lee's, so don't treat artists who have been through the game and have been through the trenches like they brand new. Don't do that. To me, that's disrespectful. But I get the promoters, I get the money aspect. They're trying to make money because some of these promoters lose their hind ends off bringing these artists here, and then people don't come out to the tickets and stuff like that. But I mean, I get it, but at the same time, you gotta do what's best for your brand, man. And what's best for you.
Can I throw something in?
No, let me say, because I let y'all go, and then I'm gonna say my opinion. So, and then we can have just a discussion about it. So, with me, I think that when you do the things that we do, and you do stuff from an artist perspective, and you do stuff from a promoter's perspective, I think I feel more like Melody. If you want to take the opportunity and you want to do something like that, if it's something you feel like, hey, I got everything together, this is something that I can afford to do, this is something that I actually want to do, I really don't mind, taking this opportunity, then do it if that's what you feel. Because I'm big on that. If that's what you feel, then that's perfectly fine. But then from the from the promoter's perspective, I think sometimes artists forget what promoters are there for. Promoters are there to put on a good event and make money, period. They really don't care about nothing else. They really don't care about, they don't care about your feelings. They don't care about if you feel like you're the best artist off of this event. If I'm going to put my name on it, if I'm going to put my stamp on it, then I got to make some money, okay? Now, if it's shiesty on, if people want to, is it like, you get into different conversations when you ask, is it shiesty, is it janky for them to charge as much as they charge? And then it kind of gets different because I can take two stances on that. Like, I kind of have a weird opinion about it. I don't necessarily think you should be paying, but then the artist got to ask as an artist, you got to ask yourself a hard question. And if you can't answer this question completely honestly, then you gotta be like, oh snap, maybe I do take this opportunity, or I do like what Methodical one said, is like, okay, take that bread and do something else with it. You know what I'm saying? So really, it's just about how you feel. That's why I say go back to what Melody says. It's about how you feel. If you really want to do it, you could.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm with you as well. Just like, I mean, you could do so much, especially if they charge an outrageous amount of money. Just think about more than one thing as a brand.
We talking, hold on, just one thing before we get there. There's one thing though that you gotta understand is that it's business and it's not personal.
Yeah.
So like, what you can't do is because, oh man, he want me to pay $1,200 to do that. Man, that's crazy. And then go blast him on Facebook, bro. Just say, nah, this opportunity ain't for me, and go about your business, bro. Y'all gotta stop letting all y'all feelings and stuff get in your head and stuff. Like, bro, business is business. Take your feelings out of the business. If you ain't gonna do it, just say thank you I appreciate you talking to me. I appreciate you giving me the information, and go about your business, bro. Stop. There is some janky promoters here. We talked about that, but there are some legit promoters out here, bro, that y'all just need to chill, bro. It ain't.
If you don't want to pay it, don't pay it.
Right.
I mean,
go about your business, dog.
If you ain't gonna pay it, I mean, it's a lot of money.
So
Hold on. Let me
What you got? Yeah, it's a big old. What you got, bro?
All right. Two things. I think one of them, I think is important, and I just kind of based off what I thought Tess was getting ready to say.
I probably was gonna say it.
Huh?
I probably was just gonna say it. I just waited.
A lot of artists are not honest with themselves, and we've had this discussion before. You talk about it all the time. Like, if you can't bring a crowd, if you can't have X number of people to show up and support you, then maybe that's exactly what you need to be doing, is paying for shows
I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you.
Hold on.
No, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna tell you why. Because they need to hear it from an artist. Because you know what I mean? No offense. Let me tell you. If you can't fill up the Bourbon Hall by yourself.
No, hold on. No, let's pull it back. Pull it back.
Okay.
Pull it back.
No, because I know what you're gonna say.
No, pull it back.
No, don't say it yet.
Pull back the video.
Pull back the video.
No.
If you can't fill up the tap room, pull it back. We go.
No. Let's say this.
He got a point.
Here's my point. Here's my point. He got a point.
If you can't fill up this room.
No. Check this out. No, what I'm saying is, because it's a good point. My point is, because you think about the venues that some of these concerts are at, they're big.
Yeah, because every time you talk about it
The big concert halls that we have just in our city. Mercury Ballroom.
Headliners.
Bourbon Hall, right? If you can't fill that up, you can't get mad at promoters for trying to charge you to perform if you're not bringing. Like you gotta ask who are we actually bringing? So if we're not actually bringing people, then don't do it. Okay, don't do it. Let's not have this conversation because you're not really about that life. You know what I'm saying? You're not really about that. So, but let's be.
And then the other thing I was gonna say was also, because you're absolutely right. You've had this conversation before. Like you're right. I think the other thing too is on the promoter side of it too. It's a hard conversation because who makes the determination too? There's a lot of people out here that are gatekeepers that for whatever reason, like, you know.
Who's a gatekeeper?
No, what I'm saying is when it comes to, okay, this artist is in town and I should give you a shot, you know, I respect you. You're right.
They don't think like that.
But you should.
Ain't no gatekeepers thinking like that, cuz. What I'm saying is promoters don't think like that, period. Promoters think about money. So,
but it should be balanced to the force. Balance.
Does it have to be? If
you're gonna do a good show, like if you want a good show, I want people to know me as Meth One throws.
I'm gonna have a good show. No, I'm gonna have a good
show.
No, I'm gonna have a good show because I booked the national artists. So I'm not worried.
That don't mean nothing.
So what? That's what I'm just saying. My mindset. You're talking about stuff that's more in depth. I'm talking about somebody I pay for this artist to go here, or here. I'm paying for that artist. If you want to get on stage with this, then I'm going to charge you whatever the heck I want to charge you. Because either that will go towards the artist, that will go towards the building, or that will go towards something I need to get paid for, or it's just extra cash, period. You feel me? So I don't really care. I don't really, as long as I book the national act, the international, whatever, I don't really care who opens up. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to get on the stage and you know people's going to be there, then I'm going to charge you, because if I book this show just for you, you would only have 50 to 75 people or 100, okay, maybe 200 people in the Bourbon Hall. Whoop-de-doo. You get what I'm saying? That's not a lot of people. 200 people in a smaller venue, that's great. But 200 people in the Bourbon Hall or Mercury Ballroom or headliners or wherever, you know, what's the new place? Like, that's nothing. Like, that's literally not even half of the first row. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not Paris Town.
Huge. Exactly. So I'm like, I'm not really impressed by those numbers. So artists, we just got to make sure that we don't get, like you said, no feelings about this. Like, some of this stuff really is business. If it's janky business, we don't need to deal with it. Like, there's no need to go get caught up in all of that, because that's not somebody we want to deal with. Just because they throw plenty of concerts and all of that, that's not the only way, the only avenue for you to get your music out there. So that is always my main point about all of that.
Okay, so we talked about paying to perform. So what about getting paid to perform? How do people look?
No.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That's a whole nother conversation that we need to have.
Here's a quick light conversation. Quick light conversation is when you get your paperwork together and things like that, then you would be getting paid for your performances anyway, in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? You get a percentage on whatever it's going to be. So you got to get your paperwork part together for those things.
And if
you know what I'm saying?
No paperwork, then you probably
and
don't
then,
know your work.
So, but here's the question I think she's talking about. Because you talking about paperwork, let's just talk about straight up business as okay, I got my paperwork together, but if I'm giving you a service and you need to pay
Yeah.
for my service.
Some people
Okay,
are bougie like
that's
that.
the problem. No, it's not bougie.
Well,
That's not bougie
not
at all.
bougie, but
Get that out
I'm
your
just
mind.
saying.
Because if somebody wants something from you, you should charge them if you have a business.
Right.
You don't go in any store. You don't go in any store
Hold
and
on.
get something for free,
Hold on.
unless you're networking with somebody.
No, it's not necessarily the kids get something for free all the time, and not all business. Some of that business that y'all be out here selling, we get for free anyway. So chill out. I'm just saying. If you think about it, you know what I'm talking about.
But
They be putting.
but what I'm saying is this:
They be
if
taxing
I'm
on
a
that
business,
too.
if Tattoo is a business, is a brand.
Right.
Then if they ask me to go talk at a school, if they ask me to go sing somewhere, then the point of compensation is always talked about. It's not like it's not a. At one point it wasn't because I didn't think about it, but now it's like, oh no, I've done a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff on my resume, so I gotta make sure I present my stuff
But
out. I gotta present my stuff out the right
Well,
way.
we had this
And I've
conversation
done enough
too.
networking to be able to do that.
Artists are scared, bro. Like, quit being scared.
I know. I'm
Right,
scared.
you know what I'm saying? We
But
talk
I'm
about-
They're
not
only
talk
scared
about
because
that.
they're uninformed with that.
But it shouldn't even be like, that should be one of the top things
Can
you
I
come
ask
out
you a
your
question?
mouth.
As promoters of Royal Wednesday, are we paying every artist that performs with us?
I'm sorry, I didn't know as a promoter I was getting paid.
No, that's exactly.
Back it up! Back
Exactly.
up the check!
Exactly. Do you hear me though?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying. Do you
No,
hear me
but
though?
okay.
Do you hear me though?
But we let them know.
But you said what I say.
We let them know.
I'm not, because you know me, I'm big on that. I ain't getting.
Bro, I ain't making no money.
Okay, so
ain't
that's the
making no
thing.
money.
We gotta break that just a little bit. Cause my issue is that, you know, as you grow, get more experience type thing, my issue is making that transition. Okay, so can I get compensated for stuff?
Yeah, and you should be doing that, but you still do free shows.
Yeah.
You're still gonna do shows for charities
You
and
do
stuff
shows,
like that.
listen,
You're
you
gonna
do free shows, and you don't mess up your network either.
Nah.
So, because a lot of people do that wrong because they start charging the wrong people. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know who to charge. You know who to charge. And then there's certain people that it's like favor for favor. They do that as artists. Do you really think that Lil Wayne pays Jay-Z? No, it's
Or Drake for
yeah, no,
yeah.
it's like oh no, look, I'm gonna do this. You do please, cause you charge too much, and I ain't gonna pay you. You know what I'm saying? Like we cool with it. No, it's just the part of the
And
game.
like,
Now they might throw him something anyway. You feel me? But
Right.
at the same time, like
Probably.
when you get to a certain level, bro, it's about
It's a
trade.
Not only that,
What can I
when
get
that
for
paperwork is right, I didn't pay you for that feature, whatever.
But they still
your
gonna pay
name
for
is
the
in the
streams and
paperwork.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you on the split sheet.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like yeah.
That's a lot of times when you do feature songs with people.
I
Sometimes
like
when
you
you
said
feature,
it.
when you do feature songs with people, you know what I'm saying? I think it would be nice for you to show up to stuff when they have performances or whatever.
Bruh, or at least
Or
promote the song,
or
bro.
help promote the song
There we
or
go.
something. I mean, like promote the song, help promote the song a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't.
Hey, bro, while we talk about pay for play, what y'all need to start doing is paying y'all producers, bro. Y'all tripping.
Man,
These artists out here tripping.
You gotta pay these artists, cuz that's
Pay
what,
these
that's
producers.
who gets
Artists
gypped.
need to pay these
We get
producers.
gypped all the time, bro. Cause we're not going there because we get gypped all the time.
Producers get
We
gypped all the
pay-
time too.
Agreed. But we pay. We pay for so much, bro.
Nobody's saying that, you know,
pay for
artists
so much, bro. People be like, well, dang, what about this? What about that? Like, yo, we gotta pay a lot
Ain't
of
nothing
money
free.
for stuff. And then when the artists come to get paid, everybody looking like, well.
See what had happened was
I mean,
the way
you
my
did,
account set up.
I did come here for a cheaper price. What? Like, I don't want to hear that. We gotta find out. Like we said, get your paperwork right so you can get that together. Educate everybody about that. But then also, just when you go and do stuff, create what she was saying. Create that new thing of, hey, we're creating the
Have the
new
conversation, bro.
territory.
Who
Yeah,
cares?
you know.
Have the
So
conversation.
we gotta learn. We gotta teach them how to have that conversation though too. You know, some of these. And we're not talking about don't think of the solidified artists. I guess we're talking about some of the up and coming. Like I always say, some of the up and coming artists that may not know some of this information. So look at it and say, hey, how can we build this bridge? How can we do those things, guys? We are gonna be done right now. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. We went over a little bit on time. But we appreciate y'all for sticking with us.
I'm still with the internet.
Hold on, bro.
What's
Hold
up?
on, bro.
Log
I
off.
need you to look at that, bro.
Log off.
I don't know what they got going on, but thank you all for tuning in to the Weekend with Tez. Oh gosh.
Go ahead,
Make
bro.
sure you all follow us on all social media. Make sure you all don't go insane during this time of quarantine.
And actually, you ain't quarantined in your house, man. You walk around the neighborhood. Go to a park.
Yeah.
You go to a park.
Check on your neighbors. Check on the elderly.
I said this before.
Check on your neighbors from at least 6 feet, though.
Listen, if y'all don't spend, now you can't say that. Wait a minute, 6 feet the whole time. But what I'm saying
right,
is,
I feel attacked.
Listen. So what I'm saying is this. This is what
You
I'm
got
saying.
the roller.
Please, listen. Please spend time with your family.
Don't start with your kids.
There's really nothing else for you to do right now.
But
spend time.
Are
with
you
your
all
family.
still teaching?
Hold on. Actually, another good thing too, man. While you're off from work and you in, like, bro, go after those like dreams and like when you stuff that you let fall by the side. If you wanted to be an artist, start artistry again. If you want to sing, start singing. This is the time to do it.
Super productive.
Exactly. We need to, as artists and stuff like that, we should have a ton of new artists coming up. Shut up, Ted. Shut up. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, you should have stuff. This should be like a new renaissance in art and music and science because y'all ain't got nothing else to do.
Are y'all teaching your kiddos while they're out of school?
Are you teaching your
My kid,
Do
what
I
am I
have
supposed to be teaching? What am I supposed to be teaching my kid?
Yes. Me and all three of my children, we had school all week long. But luckily,
capital punishment.
But luckily,
don't make me get that belt.
But that's real talk though. Like we went hard. Like they went to school. There's no excuses. Like the worst thing in the world is you can have one of your parents. Because there's no breaking down. I don't get this. I ain't gonna do this. Boy, you gonna look. We're gonna work through this
conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of what Methodical One was saying. Please, guys, please use this time to, I would say, create whatever that means to you. So if it is actually doing some portraits, or if it is,
you say something else. Oh my God. Hey, bro, this not me premium Snapchat and OnlyFans, bro.
You talk about starting a food service too.
Listen. What I'm saying is,
that is digital content.
If it's writing blogs, okay. If it's
Melody,
learning how to do a good shimmy. If it's learning how to do a good shimmy. If you're a capital out there doing a good shimmy, make sure you do that. If you're a producer, make some more beats. Or whatever.
I was able to
basically.
That was petty, bro.
How you gonna go from if you're a cowboy to do your shimmy?
Like I saw it
in the beat.
I was saw it in the corner of my eye, bro.
Hold on. We went from do a blog, Camper do your shimmy, make some more beats.
I was gonna say something too. I'm gonna say something about myself as well. So create more music, write your songs. You know what I mean?
And use that tax check and that stimulus check to get some studio
time.
time.
Get some studio time. It's only 2 people. It's only 2 people in the studio, so that's perfectly fine. It's you and the engineer. Boom. So get you some studio time. But what I'm saying is to just really take this time to create. Take this time to be with your family as well. Because like you can really, it's the weekend now. So it's really, a lot of us are not working on the weekend anyway. So now it's really time to say, okay, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, and actually do it with your kids. Enjoy your kids if you got kids. Enjoy your spouse if you got a spouse. If you don't have no kids and you single out here, just make sure whoever you invite over or whoever's house you go over is clean and they wash their butt and brush their teeth. You know what I'm saying? Make sure all of that stuff is good.
Not only that, while you quarantine with somebody, whether it's your spouse or whoever it is that you have chosen to be your quarantine buddy, strap up. 9 months could be different for you from.
We don't want no corona babies out here, bro.
Come here, Die Corona.
It's Corona, the shade Viagra.
I say, do what you will.
Bust.
You hear that, high five?
Keep it safe. Like he says, always strap up. That's
God,
I'm saying, y'all
all
do
he's saying is
just do whatever you want to do.
Raise your hands up. Now let me see you bounce.
Yeah, enjoy this. That's a good song to play. When you're doing your quarantine.
Speaking of which, a quarantine playlist. Y'all see that?
No.
Oh, y'all see that? The quarantine playlist is Can't Touch This, Wipe Me Down.
Bruh!
They forgot one though.
Hey, that's a
They
good.
forgot one though.
Put your hands
They
behind
forgot
you.
one though.
What's up?
Mr. Big, Contagious.
So just make sure. I was saying this, y'all. Make sure you use this time. If you're gonna make some babies, make some babies.
Oh,
Who cares? If you wanna listen to the playlist, then listen to the playlist. If you wanna, spend time with your kids. If you're a deadbeat daddy, this is your perfect time for you to get your stuff together. If you're deadbeat mama, this is the same for you as well. If you're a bad kid, it's gonna be.
Well, they can't technically go to court.
Court shut down.
Court ain't right unless it's
So how we go?
Some of them no kids.
Cause that's.
Hey girl, that's karma, girl. That karma, don't you be talking like
or
that.
just relive your childhood. You know what I did yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Hey, I seen it yesterday. Somebody brought up the BET Uncut playlist yesterday, bro. I sat there. I went through the
I
Uncut. Hey, bro.
It would be nice to see Tip Drill on TV.
Hey, bro. Some of that I forgot what that thing smelled like. You remember that song off the? You remember that off the BET Uncut?
Tell me what it smells like.
Yeah, you know that. He knows it
That
Uncut, bro.
that sounds horrible.
Hey, bro.
Tell me what it smells like. Oh, Jesus.
Hey, bro.
Okay.
No, how about what was those dudes? White girl.
Hey, that was on everybody, Casey. Hey, bro, that's on everybody.
So we're running out of time. Just make sure we'll be back here, man. We're gonna do the best that we can. We'll be back every Friday. If something happens in between time, then hey, it's all love. But we're gonna try our best to continue to be here for you all. We thank y'all so much. Usually we start at 10, but we probably start at 9. It just depends.
Be safe out there. Like what we can't. Like, take it seriously. I know we make jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah, make love. Yeah.
But like for real, hey,
make love to somebody.
for real, man. Wash your hands. Do your
Make love, not virus.
Love. You know what I'm saying? I know viruses. You know what I mean? Just make some love, y'all.
And if you can't, there's always.
Hey, and just because we concerned about the coronavirus, don't mean the other viruses don't exist. Don't get no chlamydia. Don't get nobody crabs. Like you was saying, listen. Hey, all that stuff. Hey, STDs is real. You're gonna be real close to somebody.
Y'all keep saying that, but I'm saying to y'all that's protecting yourself.
Protect.
Just make love, y'all. Okay?
I'm just trying to tell people to be safe.
I mean, be safe. Just be safe, of course. Make some love. Enjoy your kids. Be with your kids. Be happy. Do some TikTok videos with your family if you want. I don't know. Do whatever you need to do. Just enjoy this time. Let's try to find some positive out of this time. I know it's a lot going on. Don't panic. Don't be afraid. Just try to make sure you make some love.
Don't fight Walmart over toilet paper.
Please don't.
And be happy. Okay.
Please don't.
So that's all I want to say. And we're done, man. We ain't got nothing else. Y'all got anything?
Well,
Follow Weekend with Tez at Weekend with Tez. And then make sure you follow all of us on social media as well.
That's right.
We out. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much, man.
All right,
Shout out
we'll
to
see y'all
LiveXport.
next week, man. Thank y'all for tuning in.